Hello, good evening, and welcome once again to the Varlastan Circle, a D&D 5e adventure in a homebrew setting brought to you by Penance RPG, an actual play podcast and Twitch variety stream. You can find out more about Penance RPG at penancerpg.com or in the stream information below. I'm Lunrwolf, an occasional variety streamer and creator of the Varlastan setting. I'll be guiding our cast through the trials that await them. Aria.
I assume I'm meant to introduce myself.
Yes, please.
Hello, I am Dragon. I am playing an Aasimar ranger called Ari A. They are excited to see what happens next, but also somewhat apprehensive. They have had no reason to have their faith in the circle particularly shaken up until recent events. And mostly she's very protective of Kuji.
Thank you. Silik.
Hello, I'm Eden. My character Silik is a total paladin. He's having, a crisis of faith for sure, and because of recent events. Having witnessed what may be other gods, or at least beings of immense power, in a world where this isn't supposed to necessarily exist at all, and being a paladin who is very much all about the guy upstairs, not so sure now that there might be people upstairs, and there's questions.
That's fair. Jack.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm playing Jack, our little rogue gnome. Jack's not really sure 100% following what's going on, but the talk of people upstairs, he's thinking that they're just neighbours. And we should be kind to our neighbours.
That's so cute.
Yeah, go and pop your head in the door.
Yeah, pretty much. Just going, no!
Unless they
We're
start
neighbours.
playing drum and bass at like 2 a.m. or whatever.
Oh yeah. Then they're not considerate neighbours.
That's reasonable. And last but by no means least, Timidar.
Hey, I'm AJ. I am playing Timidar, our Dragonborn wizard, and he's super suspicious all the time, and he likes to nap because he's sensible, and naps are cool. Who doesn't like naps?
I find it hard to
Don't know, I'm-
argue.
Getting super defensive about this. Everybody loves a nap. Get off my back.
You're just getting into character.
Yeah, no, I'm just building myself up to be like needlessly abrasive. Yeah. As usual, I've forgotten what character voice I was doing for the character, so we'll see what happens in a minute.
It's all good fun. So, where were we?
I remember that we had gone to visit a tower, which was where we had kind of triangulated and had assumed that this is where, on the other side of the veil, let's say, wherever Kuji has come from, there was a building that they used to stargaze from, and we kind of took this to be the parallel on our side, if memory serves.
Yep.
I don't remember that there was much there because we kind of went at night time, and we might not necessarily have done the most efficient searching.
I think the only thing we picked up was that we thought it maybe be a research tower or something, but there was no trace of magic. At least
And
that's from my notes.
And it was the right place, but the surroundings weren't right.
Mm-hmm.
See, I read that as we just completely went to the wrong place.
There was definitely something that was right. Something about the tower was right, and it should have been the right place, but like the landscape was different on this side, is what I took it as.
Yeah.
I remember Kuji talking about elevation, that they was it lower ground on their side? I
remember.
can't quite remember, but there was a difference in the two heights of the land, I think.
Yep.
I mean, are we remembering that correctly, or is
Yep, you're pretty much spot on. The tower on this side is the wrong height, or rather, the rock beneath it is the wrong height. It's unclear whether the tower is intact or not. But from Chuji's recollections, her version of the tower isn't anyway. But yes, you investigated the tower in the half light of dusk, and then you retired to the inn, if you recall.
Yes, we met Old Buck.
Yep,
Yeah.
Old Buck's the owner. Very surly.
He was a bit grumpy. Was he not? I can't remember.
They
Well,
usually
the
are.
problem is that we
They
turned up
usually are.
very late.
Yes. Yeah.
Very,
that's-
very late,
yeah.
and that breakfast is at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Coming back now.
Bedtime was like really early as well. We were all like, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very late was 6:35 p.m. I remembered I have notes.
Hurrah for notes. They definitely help.
And then they locked us in.
Oh yes, they did, didn't they?
That was the key bit.
Suspiciously.
Which we were all kind of a bit creeped out about to start with.
I mean, it does seem a bit murdery.
Just a bit.
Yeah, I can't really imagine going to a hotel where somebody else has got the key to my room and is actively using it to put me in there and be like, there you go, good night.
Just a step too far away from tucking us in, which is kind of creepy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just trying
yes.
to imagine a hotel where you go to bed and then a couple of minutes later, just like the front desk guy comes and goes, "You ready to be tucked in?" Just
Having been the front desk guy
Yeah.
for years. Oh, the horror of that thought. Oh, God.
I couldn't help but be picturing you in that role as well. Is the thing.
Ugh. I think I came
Oh.
perilously close a couple of times to doing something close to that.
Dear
Anything to
me.
get the customer off my back.
But yes, and you were eventually reassured to realise that you were not bereft of bathroom facilities in the room, and you did have an opening window. So it's not like you were actually trapped in.
Still not comforting to have
No.
the main exit blocked in case of fire.
There was some concern. So we closed last time with Timidar and Jack settling down to sleep for the first half of the night at least, and Silik and Arya were to keep watch.
Yep.
So, what would you like to do whilst you're keeping watch this evening?
Given my character, well, all of us have leveled up to level 3, and I suppose now is the time for Silik to kind of think about, like, his, sorry, my mind is just immediately going blank as these words are coming out of my mouth for some reason. He's got to think about his oaths, and he's probably going to dedicate a little bit of time thinking about, well, the conflict in his mind, and is going to say to Arya, you'll have to excuse me. I could feel a power swelling within myself. I feel the faith that I have in Armand overflowing. Much as these times are strange, I feel that I must dedicate myself to some meditation and thought on this process.
I see. I will do my best to not disturb you.
I appreciate it. And he rests his shield across his lap, cross-legged, and his weapon across the top of it, and kind of rests his hands on top of it and closes his eyes and sits in meditation.
Okay. Arya? Are you doing anything particular?
Probably nothing particularly interesting.
Okay. That's fine.
No. She's a bit creeped out, but not.
Well, that's a
have
good
anything
thing.
Interesting to do.
Okay. After perhaps an hour or so, Arya, certainly you can pick out some quiet footsteps coming down the corridor towards you. Silic, depending where you are in your meditation, you may also be able to hear them.
I think he's still quite mindful of surroundings, given events and everything.
That seems sensible. So then you can hear the steps coming down the corridor towards you, and they go straight past the door without pausing. You can just about make out a fragment of conversation as they pass. There's 2, maybe 3 people there. The only line you can hear for definite: tomorrow we visit the observatory. And the steps continue down the steps continue down the corridor and fade. You're not convinced that corridor is long enough for them to have faded in, but fade they did.
Silic has cracked his eyes open as the footsteps went past and locked eyes with Arya. It kind of raised an eyebrow as they said the words "tomorrow observatory." He repeats, "Tomorrow observatory."
I think we're going to be following people tomorrow.
Quite.
Although, Arya is going to go over and try the door again.
Okay. It's still quite locked.
And I'm pretty sure I don't have anything that I can use to unlock it. Try and pick the lock.
No, you don't have anything you'd be able to do that with.
Mm-hmm.
It would be brute strength or nothing.
That doesn't sound smart in the middle of the night when it's going to be really loud.
It would be a little unsubtle.
You have a sleeping gnome with thieves' tools.
I was just thinking I might come back. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So Arya walks over and gently shakes Jack by the shoulder.
Hello?
Sorry to disturb you. Do you think you could unlock the door?
The door? I can have a go.
If you wouldn't mind, that would be great.
Nope, I'll do it. I'll go get my thieves' tools out of my pocket and yawn as I walk up to the door and try and pick the lock to open up.
Okay. That's fine. It's a relatively simple lock. It doesn't take you a great deal of effort to catch the tumblers in it, even if you are still half asleep. But even unlocked, the door firmly refuses to move. It feels like it's perhaps barred from the other side. There might be a bolt across. It's hard to tell for sure.
Jack's just going to walk into the door, expecting it to open, but be stopped. I don't think they want us to get out.
Really determined, aren't they?
Yeah, they don't really like people wandering the halls at night, do they? But what if you get hungry?
Well, maybe they shouldn't have conversations about going to an observatory tomorrow. But
What?
yeah, so we've got some people to follow in the morning.
Do we know what they look like?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
gonna have to
we're
check
locked in here still, so...
That's good. Good point.
But they walked past, and it sounded like they were walking for further than this corridor is long. So I was trying to see if we could get out to investigate that while everyone else is asleep. But apparently not.
I mean, we could try the window and try and crawl along to the next window and see if we can get into the corridor that way.
Unless that door's locked as well.
No.
Hmm.
Try the roof.
Are we on the top floor?
You are.
Oh.
Why don't we try the roof?
Okay, let's try the roof then.
Over to the window.
I think
Really waddle.
Sileg's going to get up and join you at this point and kind of just join the group and assist with presumably lifting Jack onto the roof as the smallest and lightest, but also the sleepiest, so I'm very conscious of... you should rouse yourself, little one. The roof is no safe place for a sleepyhead like yours.
I was hoping to sleep a little longer, but it's okay. I need to help out my buddies. It's all good.
Oh, well then. And he kind of grabs Jack by the waist and kind of takes him out to the window and goes, whoop, and lifts him up as in a kind of quick, jumpy kind of, in a way so that you can grab a ledge or something, if presuming that that's up there.
I will try and grab
Failing
onto
that.
everything.
Fall to your death.
Feeling that be... Oh, no.
I guess we got to look at the building on the way in. So there's a sense of, like, I know that there's an awning or something,
Yeah.
shall we say, something that you can grab hold of.
Yeah, like a gut ring or the...
Yeah, there's always an edge.
I'll grab onto that and clamber up onto the rooftop. Alright, made it.
Well, run along and check the next room along.
Alright. I'm gonna toddle over and try and see down. Do I see anything?
The next room along, the window is dark. There's not a great deal to tell about it. You think you would be able to get down to it if you needed to, but it wouldn't be ideal, and you might not be able to get back up very easily.
You'd just be busting in somebody's bedroom.
Surprise! Might need a rope.
Oh, okay. Apparently, I'm half asleep as well. Goes to find a rope. And starts digging one out of all the bags.
I'm sure we've got rope. I'm sure we've all got rope.
Yep.
Wahaha. Alright, I shall try and find... I shall anchor the rope first. I'm assuming there's like a chimney or something I can like wrap it round and like tie off.
Yep, that's
'Cause
fine.
Safety first. I'm a small person. I don't want to fall off the roof. I'm going to not make a very big dent, but it'll hurt a lot. And maybe I'm gonna like. Is it? No, it's not abseiling. It's what's the word? So when you lean back and you like go down the rope.
That is
That is
abseiling.
That is
Yeah,
abseiling.
it's
Yeah.
abseiling. Okay.
Yeah.
And like go down to the window edge and see if I can peer through the window.
Okay. You can do that. That's fine. It's not a particularly hard surface to make your way down or anything like that. You can peek in the window, and through it, you can see the outline of a door standing open, and a little bit of light, which you really have to assume is coming from the corridor beyond the door.
Oh, I think we got an open door here. Ooh. There's light coming through, so... Do you want me to go in and have a look? Or do you want to... Or am I having backup with me?
Choice to make. Will we actually sleep here tonight and trust these people, or should we make our way and make camp somewhere and return to catch them unaware so that we can follow them out to the observatory and witness whatever they're doing without perhaps thinking or being wary of us.
Take your time.
It might be safer to follow them from here, because if we're gone and the door unlocked in the morning, they'll probably get suspicious.
More likely to be on the hunt if they know that there are people that are acting suspiciously local. Better to blend in, perhaps.
Yeah. I'm assuming that they mean to come and unlock the door by 4 a.m.
Well, our comrades can tell us. You and I should rest, perhaps soon.
Yes, you are right. Jack, do you want to come back in here just now?
Okay. Go up the rope, take the rope back out, and tie it from the chimney and come back down.
At least now we know that we can get out of here.
We
Quietly.
have an escape plan if there's a fire. It's okay.
Right.
Okay, do you mind keeping watch, Jack?
No, I'm up now. I'm good. I'll just play solitaire with myself.
Are we going to allow Timidar his 16 hours of sleep, or, well, something a little closer to it than usual?
Do you want to wake him up and have him be grumpy for the rest of the day, or have a nice long sleep and complain less?
Well, if you're happy with the watch, Jack.
I'm good.
I think it's
Take
better
up my
to
card.
have less unhappy comments if we're trying to follow people silently.
I just want to point out, you guys were on watch for an hour, and now you're going to bed. Like,
Poor Jack's gonna be left
making
the
out like
entire
I'd
night.
be. So I've been asleep for an hour, and now you're like, wake up, Timidar, don't be so lazy. Like,
It was like a couple of hours. Sorry.
Oh, we're like, no, we should let Timidar sleep.
I believe what Greg said was, you're on watch for about an hour, and you hear footsteps, and you immediately went and woke Jack up.
Sarek was having
I'm just saying, you know.
In hindsight, I'm like, poor Jack is getting a really poor deal.
Seems so happy-go-lucky though. So
He
happy
is
to
happy
run
go
with it.
lucky. He probably he's likely he only ever needs like maybe like 20-minute nap, and that's him for another 16
Just a
hours.
series of power naps.
Yeah, like how I survive, basically.
In fairness, if any of us needs to nap, the easiest one to carry is Jack.
Yeah. This is also my thinking. You just put me on Sarek's back, in a little like hammock bag or something, and I'll just sleep there for like a couple hours, and then I'll wake up with a song in my heart, kind of thing.
Well, I guess on that note, Silik's going to take the opportunity to do the old pop his arms and legs in, and it's bedtime.
I love that.
I love the it's just the shing. Dunk. It's the
Nice.
dunk at the end with the shell.
Yeah, a little
Shell
roll
skin
around.
flats.
Love it.
Definitely. Okay. So Jack, you've drawn the short straw of the long watch.
I'm just gonna play solitaire and
That's fine.
probably take my dagger and whittle at my chess set as well, because they're all different. They're all big chess pieces, and he's little, so he's making them shorter and making them all nice and pretty, and just like whittling at them.
That sounds like a good idea. That's fine. You pass several hours quite peacefully in that manner. And then, somewhat unexpectedly, there is a crack of thunder above you. Chuji tumbles out of bed with a squeak at the noise. loud.
Yeah, that's lightning and thunder, and that's what happens when the storms come. It's pretty though. Do you want to come to the window and have a look?
Okay.
We're just gonna stand at the window, and Jack's just gonna. If you wait, you'll hear it, and then soon there'll be a big flash.
Chuji peers out of the window and just points. Purple.
Wait. Well, is it purple?
If you look out of the window, you can see through the buildings across from you that the entire cliff face is lit with purple fire. There's also a patch of purple fire above, round about where the tower stands.
I'm gonna need somebody else. I'm just gonna wake her up. There's a light show going on outside.
What?
Come see the light show.
Okay. And stumbles over to the window. Like, oh,
The light show.
yeah. The purple sky. Our visitors are back.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go wake.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake everybody else now because.
Yeah. Maybe we
I
should
don't
go
know.
to the tower just now.
Yeah, maybe we should just like sneak out the window and use the rope and just get out that way. Maybe. Go watch the pretty light show.
I like that idea. Okay. If you wake them up and then Ariad goes and like starts securing rope.
I'm gonna put it over and tap on Cyric's child. Like, wakey, wakey, someone's up.
His arms and legs pop out as fast as possible, and he goes, "Ah, away, false gods!" Ah.
You might want to look out the window.
What? Oh! And he gets up and runs over and starts observing.
I'm gonna very gently, slightly like roll Timidar's shoulder, very gently. Be like, Timidar, Timidar, Timidar.
Stay away from my ice cream. Don't eat 2 scoops.
Nobody's stealing your ice cream. It's okay. It's just time to wake up now.
But it's still dark.
I know it's awful, but the sky's purple outside, and we might need your wizard wisdom.
Expertise.
Wisdom.
I wish I wasn't so smart and amazing. Fine.
Oh, that was good.
Okay, so to catch everyone up, there were voices outside saying that they were going to go tomorrow. They were going to go to the observatory, and then there was a storm, and there's now purple lights all around the sky and over the tower that we were at before. So I think some of our visitors from the other here might have come through again. And it does seem to be focused at that tower.
Oh, those people are the worst.
I reckon we should go see the light show.
As Silic's looking out the window, can he see any movement beyond the lights? Is there figures? He looks to the rooftops in particular, trying to spot if that figure that was seen leaping previously. Is there any sight of anything along those lines?
No, there's no indication of figures moving in the skyline at all. You don't see anything very interesting other than the fact that the purple fire is there, and it, there's no one there to talk to that you can spot. And thankfully nobody looking back at you through the window.
We should make haste. This might not last long. And if the rope's close to hand, Silic grabs it and starts feeding out of the window.
I think we're just following after you.
He's going to tie it to the heaviest looking object. If there's a wardrobe or chest of drawers or something that's going to possibly hold weight, especially his, thinking about it.
Yep, that's fine.
Something small, something that's low down, so it can't tip over the windowsill.
I mean, I could nip up onto the roof and tie it to the chimney if that helps.
Well, if it feels sturdy enough against something in the room, then that's fine.
Are we taking our bags and stuff with us?
Just light stuff, maybe? Just our weapons and...
Have we got a sense of... Well, Jack, what time is it? How close to 4 o'clock are we?
You think the breakfast is available yet?
How close are we?
You reckon it's probably between 1 and 2.
I still think we got a couple of hours yet before they come a knocking for breakfast.
Well then, away. And he starts climbing out of the window at a quick pace.
Aria grabs her weapons before following.
Yeah, Jack's
He
gonna
had
like
them on his back.
pocket some.
It's because you're fully equipped at all times. With your turtle shell.
Jack's gonna grab his bag and his couple of his weapons and zip down.
Timidar's taking everything. I'm not leaving anything to chance.
You're fully checking out now.
Yeah.
If I leave some stuff, it's still always
Waking up early. It seems like I'm going to miss the breakfast. Might as well just leave.
Is he grabbing the soap and towels on the way out as well?
Yeah. Shower curtain.
Shampoo.
They're complimentary. They expect you to take them. Built into the budget.
Okay.
Unscrewing a plumbing fixture from the wall.
Well, they don't need to pay for our breakfast, so...
Yeah, I'm getting my money's worth.
It depends whether you come back for breakfast or not, really, doesn't it?
We might have time.
Well, maybe I'll leave the sink then for now. But I'm taking my stuff.
Okay. So with a little bit of grabbing of stuff, you all make it out of the window. It's pretty dark except when the lightning flashes. So you've got regular lightning flashing periodically with accompanying thunder, and along with that you've got the purple fire that's really focused on the cliff edge and above the tower.
Would it help to have a light to carry with us?
It's a trade-off, always.
Yeah, we make ourselves more visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's try and go as far as we can, and then we can...
I mean, I have dark vision as well, so I can see quite clearly. I can give us the heads up if I see anything.
I think.
You want me at the front?
Well, if we're to keep a fast pace, I don't mean to disparage you in any way, but those little legs. Would you like a ride?
I mean, I can sit on your shoulder.
Yes, why not?
All right, I'll do that.
And whoop, up onto the shoulder.
I sit there, toddle my legs.
Tell me if there's anything in the path.
Will do. I'll give you a heads up if I see any unscrupulous characters.
We're good. Well then, shall we? And Silic turns to the others and then quickly starts a pretty decent pace.
Yeah. Aria will try and keep up. Still
Yeah.
kind of sleepy.
Timidar does not have dark vision at all and is just going to try and follow the sound of the footsteps.
How did you get down the rope? How did you manage?
With difficulty.
By
I mean-
holding onto the rope very tightly.
Yeah.
As long
Yeah,
as
the
you don't
rope's
let them
fine.
get a head start, you'll be fine to follow them.
The rope is a straight line downwards, whereas, yeah, when you hit the ground, that's when the trouble starts. I'm just whenever there's a lightning flash, I'm using that as like, okay, that's my updated view. I think I'm gonna then just keep running in the direction that it seems.
Okay. So you're going to head across towards the tower then? See if you
up to
can
the
get
tower.
back up the dubious path. That's
Yeah,
fine.
at this point I might need to cast a light.
Yeah, so and you get towards the cliffs without incident. There's nothing particularly interesting immediately at the cliff edge. You can see the purple fire much is still present now you're closer to it. But it's not really interesting from that point of view. So you can get to the bottom of the path without any problem. And yes, you will want to have a light for this. It was tricky enough in dusk.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a light cantrip. So I will attach the light to what am I carrying? Probably nothing useful. I'll grab a small stone off the ground and cast light on it, so we can use it as a lamp.
Yeah, that's fine.
I will offer it to Timidar.
Thank you. Just kind of hold up the stone.
Ooh, shiny.
Before we start climbing, I would like to cast a spell, please.
Okay.
I want to cast. I want to do primeval awareness,
Mm-hmm.
so I can use a spell slot to sense whether there are any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead within a mile.
Yep, that's fine. You can use your Ranger's awareness ability. There is nothing that you are aware of within the range of your primeval sense there.
Okay. And it'll last for a minute. I don't think it's going to change
Yeah.
quickly going up these stairs.
Not for a mile, anyway.
No.
Okay, that's fine. So with a little bit of caution and a little bit of magical light, you're able to make your way up the stairs. It's not too bad, especially having done it once already. And you're vaguely aware of where the immediate hazards were, and you make reasonably good time up the path on this occasion. As you get up to the plateau where the tower stands, you can feel something in the air. It certainly wasn't there when you were here earlier.
I think there's a few things that your sensors didn't necessarily account for. So, Silic at this point uses Divine Sense to try and detect a celestial, fiend, undead, consecrated, or desecrated item or place within 60 feet.
Okay. Doesn't reveal anything new to you.
Silic's all the more wary then, just kind of looking around, spying probably the shadows that are being cast from the stone. Being very wary.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like there's likely to be something immediately hostile. And if it is some of the creatures some of the people we encountered before, well, they told us to come here. So I would assume they wouldn't have an issue with us just turning up.
We didn't really account for it, but assuming that Kuji is with us,
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Silik turns to him. Kuji, can you feel that? Is this a familiar feeling to you?
Chuji steps forward and sort of sniffs around a bit. Some gods at work, gods at play, who knows?
Gods.
You mean the neighbors?
Well, it was certainly gods we met last time. Can we tell if this sense is stronger from any one direction?
From your own point of view, you can feel it most strongly moving towards the tower.
Okay. Arya's going to follow the increasing intensity and walk towards the tower.
Okay.
Likewise, following along.
I am still perched on Silik's shoulder, so I go where he goes.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
fair.
just following along.
Okay. Ambling towards the tower. It starts to feel almost like the air is thickening as you get closer to the tower. The purple light is still very much present. You can't see anybody, hear anybody moving around. All there really is the thunder and lightning at periodic intervals. But it definitely feels different.
This is some chunky air.
Thick.
This is a really weird storm.
So are we with... Oh, sorry.
I was just going to ask for a reminder. We can go inside the tower?
Yes, you can. There's no useful door on it. It's a bit of broken wood, and there are a couple of signs out the front that say "dangerous building."
I mean, we've deliberately come outside and climbed up stairs on a cliff during a thunderstorm. I'm probably going to ignore the signs again and walk
Yeah.
into the tower.
Fight the
That's
tower.
fair. Okay. Are you all going to go into the tower?
At this point, Silik looks up at Jack on the shoulder and says, "Perhaps it's best that we separate at this point, in case there's something in there that we need to fight.
Alright, thanks for the lift.
Would you like a hand down?"
No, I'm good.
Just like flops down.
Like face first, just
that was the mental image I had as well. Jack just face plants off Silik's shoulder, picks himself up, dusts himself off, and carries on regardless.
Just face plants into the moss, and then just like bounces back up again. Just like, right, here we go.
I'm awake.
Yep, I'm awake now. We're ready to go. Where are you at?
I mean, as an acrobat, you probably get away with that just fine. Okay, so you are all going into the tower, but you're going to do so under your own movement rather than staying up there. That's sensible. That's fine. Inside the tower, the purple fire you can see starts maybe 10 or 20 feet above the edge of the stonework that you can see lit by the lightning.
oh, in midair. You mean?
Yeah, the fire's in midair.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
it looks like there's some sort of shimmer that would almost be extensions of the walls in between the stonework finishing and where the fire reaches to.
Can we see the stars now when we look up?
You can sort of make them out when the lightning flashes, but the purple fire obscures them the rest of the time.
Kuji, do you have any ideas?
Kuji peeks up. Taller tower? Maybe? Hard to see. Doesn't appear to be anything else from her at this point.
Has the feeling in the air intensified since we entered the building?
It's sort of pressing down from above you, but not really from around you. So the walls are definitely helping.
So perhaps there's a sense then that this magical, well, not whatever this fire is above us, is the source of that pressure. Let's say
it could be, but it's difficult to be certain.
Okay. Philip certainly thinks it is, because he's just putting 2 and 2 together. If there's the feeling of it coming from above, that thing's above.
That's fair.
Is there any way to climb up closer to it?
From what you can see now and what you remember from visiting earlier, there are perhaps old post holes in the walls, but getting up there would be tricky at best.
Okay.
I could, if I could get up there, I could maybe get a rope up.
It's risky, but we could be ready to catch you if you fall.
I'm worried about touching that fire, though. That could be dangerous.
Yeah, it's never a good idea to stick a hand in a fire.
What if I wear mittens?
Are they
Well, that's-
fireproof
then-
mittens?
Yeah,
I'm afraid I don't have those.
then that's probably even worse. Then you'll be wearing burning mittens.
This is true.
Did I do an investigation check to see if there's anything else around here that we're just completely missing?
You can.
Well,
A 12. A 12 might perhaps be rewarded, because you may as well try. A little bit of looking reveals under a flagstone a little wooden box. You're not sure what the contents are. It's locked, and it's not really a good situation just now to try and unlock it. But it might be interesting.
Hand you the stone with the light spell cast on it. You can smash it with this.
Jack, do you need to see to be able to pick a lock?
I can see in the dark. I can do it by feel.
Then you might as well try,
Okay, gimme.
whether it's the best time or not.
That's fine. You can try in the dark.
I'm gonna.
Jack ever relock the hotel room door as well?
No, I didn't. I wasn't
Just
asked
asking.
to.
Yeah.
I wasn't asked to. Jack's gonna try and feel for the lock and take
Yeah.
his picks and just like
I am going to make you roll for that.
that's fine. It's just a straight D20.
It's just a dex check.
Upper
You-
left on your sheet.
Yeah, it's
You would usually have advantage because of your abilities, but in the dark, not so much.
that's a 19.
Very
No,
nice.
21. Sorry.
Even better. You manage to unlock the box. Inside it is a small knife.
Ooh. That's nice. That's pretty.
Is there anything unusual about the knife?
You can't see anything interesting about it just now.
Okay. I'm going to keep the box as well.
That's a pretty box.
Cigars in it.
I wasn't thinking that, but now that you say it,
Well, I'm not going to smoke them, but it does end a bit of an air of classiness to the whole group.
you don't even have to smoke them. You could just open the box and smell them.
You just put it in your mouth, you don't light it, it's there for the look.
While they're having this conversation, Silik's popped his head back out the door that they've entered through and is looking out, having a look to see if is there any sense of movement, anything out there to take note of.
No, there really isn't. You feel like the lightning and thunder are starting to fade. And there's definitely a slight lightening of the sky. You would be able at the moment to make it back into your room undetected, in all likelihood. But if it's much later than this, then you're going to run into problems.
Taking note of that then, Silik turns back to the group. Perhaps there's not much more to take in around here. Seems that whatever has done this has made its way. We should make our way back to the hotel. Sorry, the inn. Getting thrown.
No, that's my own fault for saying hotel room earlier.
Yep.
Jack's gonna let out a really big yawn because it's now like he's been up for a while now. He's even though he had a little rest, he's like,
I'd like a little nap before breakfast. This is true.
Me too.
All the odds.
all the odds.
Well, Jack, I'm happy to carry the burden once more, as ever.
Great.
We might have already found what we were called here to get, so no harm in us going back, I would think.
Well, we don't want them to have that. I need to lock the door. I forgot to lock the door.
Oh, yes.
Maybe do that before they get back.
Yeah. And we did pay for breakfast, so we should
Yeah.
get breakfast.
Well, let us then. Let's make our way carefully back down this slope.
I might have breakfast and then go back for a nap.
That's a plan.
Probably.
That's fair. We'll keep an eye out for the two that we were heard walking down the corridor. Listen out for voices, see if anybody matches up.
Ooh, that's a good plan.
So as we're
Okay.
starting to move back, Arya's going to look back at the tower. Does anything seem different about it now with like the purple fire fading?
No. It looks much the same. The last flickers of the regular lightning seem to show that there is still that shimmer. You perhaps just weren't able to see it last night. when you were at the tower.
Okay.
But it doesn't appear that anything has changed, either from the fire starting to fade or from your actions.
Okay. Fair enough. And starts following the others back to the inn.
Okay. You make it back to the inn without any incident at all. Nobody, there are no patrolling guards in the village overnight. It's not something that anyone considers necessary in these sorts of lands. So you're perfectly fine to get back up the rope into the room.
And pull the rope up after us.
We never left.
Better attend to that lock, Jack.
I'm already
Okay.
asleep on the bed.
We could have just left you here too. We literally could have just left you there
Hey,
and
I
not
helped.
disturbed you.
I helped. I carried that
You
rock.
did help. You did help by carrying the rock. Yes. To be fair, Jack could have carried the rock while Sirik carried him.
You don't need
So
to
there's
diminish
also
my
that.
contributions. I mean,
Don't take this away from
That
him.
is always helpful.
He is always helpful. He's very wise.
I came up with a cigar box plan.
Yeah.
Just got the vision of him coming through the window and kind of like going headlong straight into the bed.
Yeah, it was pretty accurate. Just like I'm in and I'm back and I'm dead and I'm down.
We'll
Yes.
bring you breakfast up.
Thank you.
I'll go and lock the door again, and Jack's probably gonna like wait until they have breakfast and then have his nap. His little 20-minute power nap.
Power naps. It's just the only thing.
Power naps.
So I guess we wait until the door is unlocked then.
I
And Silik
recommend
takes a seat.
sleeping. It helps pass the time.
Does anyone want to play chess? Some of the pieces are a little wonky. I haven't fixed them yet.
Oh, why not?
Okay.
A game of strategy never fails to sharpen the mind.
This is where you discover that Jack doesn't understand how to play chess.
Or that you can just buy travel-sized versions. Like,
But he likes whittling them. Like he gives them smiley faces.
shipped to
Rowena
Horse Guy
Spain.
73.
So Silik is
Rowena
observing the
Spain.
pieces that you've handed to him to set up on the board and kind of trying to figure out, like, I think it's a horse.
Oh, I've realized what he thinks it is. He thinks that the chess pieces are the little families from that card game as kids where you had to match all the family.
Or Happy Families.
Happy families, yes. It's like that. So he's got like little matching little families with their faces, so they've all got the same features. And maybe there's a
Oh.
little dog carved at the side of one. Yeah. that's
I haven't
what he
played that
thinks
for
they are.
maybe 25 years.
Oh, yeah, I can barely remember that.
That was a staple in my house.
But is 2022 the year we all get really back into Happy Families again?
Old maid's coming back. Yeah, so I guess we will have an awkward little chess session. Misunderstandings abound.
You can teach him how to play checkers. There you go. Start
Yeah,
off with baby steps.
Recognizing that, yeah, maybe this is all these pieces could be used for potentially. Silik teaches checkers, and yeah, they sit and play
Oh,
that.
so that's how it works. Okay. I always thought they were families. 'Cause they're in little rows.
Well, a royal family after a fashion, I suppose.
Okay.
But, well, I don't want to confuse things.
Okay. So I move this piece there, and then I have to take your piece.
Well, no, you moved that one directly forwards, and in this game they move on diagonals. And he slides the piece into the correct spot next to him. That would be a valid move.
Okay, so then he slowly starts grasping the idea of checkers.
You want to roll quickly?
Yes, go on then.
Who wins the game?
Just a straight up 20.
You got a 20?
No.
Oh yeah. Roll a d20. That's that.
That's a 2.
I got a 10. So sensibly, Silic wins, and yeah, the time has passed.
Well, that could have been an intelligence check, but that's just me.
No.
I think
Or
it was
wisdom, one of the
probably.
two.
Speed. Apologies to
Yeah.
take agency away from you there, Greg.
I think that was probably a fair roll. The outcome was certainly pretty much what I would have expected. Ari, what are you doing while they're learning to play some horrendous amalgam of dragon chess, knights checkers, and possibly 3 other games all at the same time?
3D chess.
First of all, Aria is ignoring the game next to her because that's slightly terrifying.
That's fair.
And she wants to have a look at the box and the knife that we found.
Okay. What would you like to do?
I want to be able to have a good look at them. Possibly an Arcana check to see if there's anything. One, to see if there's any Arcana or magic in them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe try and figure out what it is, if possible. But also, particularly to see if there's anything, like any hidden markings or anything that might be revealed.
Okay. So, would you like to examine the box, or the dagger, or both at the same time?
Both, please.
Okay,
Or I can roll separately.
that's fine. I'm happy for you to examine them. They're not particularly a challenging item from your point of view. You're sufficiently versed with this with these things to have some idea of what's going on. So if you look at the box,
Mm-hmm.
You don't find anything.
Yeah.
But when you then look at the contents of the box,
Mm-hmm.
The dagger is definitely magical in origin. But you
Okay.
should have been able to tell that from with the box shut.
Okay. Oh,
That
well.
that will be something for you to think about. And then as you look at the dagger, the blade appears to have a flickering purple flame inside it.
Ooh. Is Kuchi still awake?
Yes.
Kuchi? When the gods or seers leave things for people, for mortals, I guess. Do they ever leave knives or daggers?
Kuchi looks very thoughtful. Maybe. Could be anything. Very rare, but could. Maybe knives? Maybe houses? Gods are
Houses?
weird.
Ooh. Sorry, I interrupted you, Koji. Please continue.
Not so weird.
Yep. Yep, I can definitely agree with that. This has a purple flame in it.
Ooh. Comes over and has a look. Talk to it.
Maria looks really confused for a couple of seconds and then turns her attention to the dagger and says, "Hello."
Greetings.
Do we hear this as well?
Nope.
Or just
Only Aria.
okay.
Aria jumps at the response. So,
Sure, this will go fine.
because the ranger isn't completely freaked out by having a supposedly inanimate object talk to her. Were you left here by your gods?
I am of all places.
I see. Forgive me, I am not very clever, so some of my questions might be very stupid.
You are forgiven.
Thank you. Can everyone else just hear a one-sided conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Me and Sarah are playing checkers, so
We're fully absorbed.
we're fully absorbed right now.
We were given a map, which showed a shrine to Inessus, which led us to here.
Yes.
Is there something that we are supposed to do here?
For Anensis, your work is done. For your mortal companions in the buildings around here, there is more to do.
I see. We are to help the people here?
That is your purpose, is it not?
Yes, that is why we are on our loop. Okay.
The call of Anensis, the call of Balioth, they will come when the time is right. Your duties here are paramount until then.
I see. Thank you. Is there anything we could do for you?
Do not misplace me. You will need me when it is time.
I see. Thank you for answering so helpfully.
You are welcome, strange mortal.
And Arya will carefully put the dagger back into the box. And then kind of like breathe a sigh of relief and just like... Okay, so that was a lot of information. Tails, could you what was said?
No, that was me winning.
Oh.
I'm sorry to tell you. Close though. You grasped the game well in the end.
Oh, is your game over?
Yes.
This one is.
You're not paying attention.
I was having an interesting conversation with the dagger, and yes, I know I sound like I've gone insane.
The dagger? Huh?
Do you drink something funny?
I asked Kuji about it, and they suggested talking to it. But it answered!
We didn't hear... I didn't hear another voice.
I know, but it
Oh.
sounded really serious. Like, it's not a voice you can argue with. And...
Pass me that dagger. Let's see if it talks to me.
Do you want to know what it said first?
Well, I suppose. He looks
Jack's
at
gonna
Jack
try and
with a little-
slyly take the box.
So,
He looks at Jack with a kind of quizzical kind of like, has our companion lost it? But at the same time, he's got this. It's confusion mixed with a little bit of that on the face.
So, I think you might want to hear this first because it spoke of the seer and of the gods.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Enensis the seer. Our work for the seer has finished now that we have come to this place and have the dagger. But Enensis and Belioth, who is the one that left us the jars, I think. They will have work for us in future. But we've just to stay here and fix things here until we find out what that is. And we cannot let that dagger get lost. We need to keep it and keep it safe. I really do sound like I've lost my mind, don't I?
We can test this. Just let us have a look at the dagger and we'll see if he has a chat with us.
So I'd like a conversation with this thing if it knows of the gods, as you keep calling them.
I want to know how he fits inside
That's
the
what they
dagger.
call. If that's how the dagger and Kuji refer to them, it's easier to communicate by using a similar term.
I'll give you that, as long as Armand is kept in mind.
Of course. Hands over the box to Silic and Jack
I'm gonna peer into the box.
and kind of sits back to watch and see what happens.
Silic's gonna reach into the box then, kind of look at Jack with a kind of look of trepidation, and grasp the handle. So
Jack's gonna try and get a little finger on the handle as well, just so he's touching it and going, "Hello."
Yes.
Drops it. Goes, "Oh,
Silic's maintained his grip. Says,
Okay, that's weird.
"With whom do I speak?"
I was Balioth's opener.
Balioth. Who is this Balioth?
You have met him, I feel.
Ah, yes, that one. Ugh. And yeah, he's shaken. There's again the thoughts, the conflict. What purpose have you?
I am a blade.
A blade with a voice, though. Have you guided others before?
Does your blade not have a voice?
None of its own. Sometimes I feel that I speak for it in battle, but... well, that's something else altogether.
I see. I weep, or would, were I able, for your blade, which has lost its voice.
Not all blades have voices. In fact, seldom few do.
Perhaps
looks
your
around the rest of the group.
experience is not the sum of all experience.
He looks around and says, this is to the rest of the group. This thing seems to have been around for some time. It speaks of talking weapons as if it's a commonplace item.
Timidar, facing the wall, says, I had a butter knife that talked once.
Oh, what
Oh.
did it say?
You did?
Yeah, it had some pretty strong opinions about bread products.
And
Oh,
stabbing babies.
Rouse yourself
I
then,
don't know
man.
what you're talking about.
If you have
That's
expertise in the
okay.
realm of talking knives, then perhaps you should converse with this one.
Fine, hand it over.
Silic wanders over, kind of shrugging at the rest of the group, like, well,
I don't
here
want to
we
talk
go,
to it
let's
again.
see what happens.
It spoke
Alright,
in my
what do you
head and
want?
that was weird.
What do you want?
Yes,
Who do you think you are to order us around like some kind of, I don't know, batch of knife-wielding servants?
and yet you are wielding a knife and serving the will of an incest.
No, hold on. I'm holding a knife. I'm not wielding shit. There's a difference here, and I've never willingly served anybody. Ask anyone. I'm actively unhelpful at the best of times.
That's not true.
He held the rock.
Okay,
learn-
most times I held the rock, and you're right, I was pretty helpful that time. We
And-
wouldn't
and
have
you're
found our way
learn-
up that hill without.
And you're learning songs and being part of the group. You're assimilating into our team.
Yeah, none of which involved serving some kind of, what was his name, Jackie Onassis?
There is much of cat about you.
No, I'm a dragonborn.
Cat with wings.
I don't have wings. I have a tail though. Anyway, what's the dealio?
You are
is your-
expected to continue your service to your people. That is your pact. With yourselves and with your god. Correct.
Well, yeah, some of us take it a bit more seriously than others.
Silic shoots him a look, knowing that must have been aimed at him. Whatever it was.
Yeah, you can't hear the other side of the conversation.
Yeah. He knows that if somebody's being jabbed out for taking things seriously, it's definitely him.
or Jack for being too enthusiastic.
I got another question for you. What's your opinion on toasted muffins?
Butter first, then jam.
With the knife on the ground. Got some real whack opinions about putting... Who mixes butter and jam? Say we
What
throw
did
it out the
you say?
window like into those jars.
No.
What a strange question to ask of a talking knife. But what did it say that was so offensive?
It's butter first and then jam. What kind of freak is this?
I see nothing wrong with this.
I just don't like mixing butter and jam, that's all. And you can tell a lot about a person by what kind of things they put on their muffins.
Like a jam and an egg.
See, that's not out of character for you, I suggest.
maybe a slice of cheese.
On the same muffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite the flavour sensation, I'm sure.
Make it a sandwich.
Yeah.
Silic kneels down and grabs the blade. It grabs the knife by the blade, like fingertips.
Slice your hand off.
Just like this is half testing. Like, does it talk? Like, am I going to be able to hear this if I grab it by that bit, or is it just the handle? Does the wielder feel it, or if you stab somebody with it, would they? Hello.
Did it get an insult while they die?
It sure is dark in here.
So yeah, he grabs the blade and he goes, "You all right down there?"
This is me telling you you've been stabbed.
Yes. This is a sturdy form.
Yes, quite. Well, I suppose if all you've got to tell us is that we should continue on our path, then we shall. Such is our nature. It's the job we have to carry out here. Continue around the circle. And to that end, he kind of looks around expectantly, thinking, where's the time at right now?
You're not entirely sure, but you think you can probably hear some movement around downstairs, which suggests it's coming up towards 4.
Well, we should certainly not be talking to this knife when anybody comes and unlocks the door, so I suggest we put it away for now. Would anybody like to volunteer for the responsibility of keeping hold of it?
No.
I'll keep it.
Well, as you wish. And he passes it over.
Arya wraps it up carefully and then puts it in the box. And then wraps something around the box and puts the box in her bags.
Okay.
It might get very distracting if I have it like on me in a sheath. And it starts talking to someone.
Well, with that put away, perhaps we should everybody try and look nonchalant.
Natural.
And
Did
so
we
like
check
puts
the
his arm against the wall and kind of like crosses his leg and leans against against it and kind of looks at his nails and
Like the most obvious undercover agent ever.
100%.
Jack's gonna pick up a piece and just be whittling it. Just pretend to whittle.
It's right up there with reading the newspaper with eye holes cut out of it. Sorry, Arya.
Give me a moment. Can I check the door and see if it's still locked?
You can, and it is.
Okay, that's fine.
You haven't missed them coming by.
Because that might have suggested they would have overheard a very strange one-sided conversation.
Multiple one-sided conversations.
Oh, did the knife tell either of you its name? Does it have a name?
Wiggles.
This is where I should have written it down because I'm a fool. You'll have to remind me. My apologies.
Barliath's opener.
Opener.
Well, like
Barliath's
a
opener.
support band or
Okay.
or like a letter opener.
That's my first thought. I'm assuming it doesn't look like a pen knife.
No, it looks like a fairly standard dagger, other than the effect of the blade.
Okay. Okay, so it is named as though it belongs to one of these gods that isn't Armont.
Yes.
Maybe it is Ballas's opener and it is a letter opener.
It could be.
Person opener. They told me that we need to help the people that live here in like this village hamlet.
And we
Yeah,
can help
okay.
them be a little bit less suspicious of people who just want to stay in the inn.
Oh,
I mean,
We shouldn't judge their ways too harshly. Perhaps this is an agrarian land, and there are many farmers that need to start the day early.
By being locked into their rooms.
yeah.
Oh, we should ask around. Perhaps there's a reason for that. A history in this place.
What, of people, like, being attacked in the inn?
Oh, it could be for the good of the people. I will wait to find out.
I don't know, it's a bit too heavy-handed to be locked in your room like you were 12.
Well, let's be real. It's not as if they kept us in here or anything.
Even 12's a little high.
I mean, were you all locked in your rooms as children? What?
I mean, I was like in a rock. I live in rock in the underground. So if I got really mad at my mum and dad, I would slam a rock and it could cause a cave in, and then I wouldn't speak to them for 4 days because we'd have to dig through the hole.
Okay. And Arya's suddenly reminded that, there are so many things we do not know about each other.
Paging gnome CPS. Paging gnome CPS.
No, it's a given. What happens when you have an argument and then you spend the whole time apologizing as you're digging through the hole?
But you make up afterwards, so it's fine.
Exactly. There's always a feast. Somebody always gets invited. That they've been away for so long, and that sometimes they've had to dig for years because, well, the argument was just so bad.
That sounds healthy.
That weird uncle tries to invent a submarine to get into the cave to
Now
dig
you're
people
doing
out.
crazy. Now you're just doing crazy talk. Don't have the money for a submarine, for one thing.
Hey. So anyway, the rules for the loop don't say that we have to travel. That say that we don't say that we can't stay in one area for quite a long time to help. So I think we should probably stay here, do what good we can. And if Balioth and Anensis get in touch with us, then we can figure out plans from there. Does that sound okay to everyone?
Yes.
Well, it means less walking around, so sure.
It means we have a base of operations too. We could probably just rent these rooms out for the week. We can ask him over breakfast.
Maybe we build our own fort up in the ruins.
Live in the observatory. We should probably speak to the locals first.
Yes. Let's get to know the place. If there are many people here to be helped, as the Blade said, then it would certainly help to know the town that we've entered.
I don't trust that Blade. Being told what to do by a jumped up piece of cutlery.
I'll admit I'm almost as skeptical as you this time, but it feels that there's some portent to the path we're on. And especially with regard to Kuji and the events that have predicated their arrival here. This seems to be the path.
Well,
And honestly, even if there was a circle representative close by, I'm not sure they'd believe us.
all I'm saying is I'm not taking any orders from the knife.
That's okay.
There is, of course, a circle representative based nearby, but they were out for the
Oh
day.
yeah.
Mm.
I don't think they would believe us.
They would probably call it They would probably think it's blasphemous as well. Or like
Even if they did try and talk to the dagger,
Yeah.
dagger might not talk to them.
Mm.
And we could risk being excommunicated.
Hmm.
Or disappearing.
I'm not quite sure I like where this conversation is headed.
Well, that's why we're saying we maybe shouldn't involve a circle
Yeah.
rep until we know exactly what the little man and the knife wants.
We don't want to risk getting taken out and taken to some kind of, secret torture chamber or something, where they ask us questions, then dump our bodies in an abandoned silver mine.
I mean, I was thinking that what if we don't help the knife man and something worse happens, like the end of the world, not so much torture and where you were going to Midar, but
An abandoned silver mine.
the silver mine end of the world sounds equally as awful.
Pit going down 1,200 feet where they dump all the bodies of all of us.
Okay. I want to be able to eat my breakfast.
Quite the imagination as ever.
Zane, stay frosty.
I don't want to have a nightmare nap.
Probably best not have too much cheese with your breakfast then.
I won't put it on my muffin though.
Have I switched character voices? I feel like I have. Oh well.
That's fine. Character voice fluctuations happen. Just ask Juji.
Yeah. This is Hungry Timidar voice. So, breakfast?
You gotta wait for them to open the door.
Breakfast, it might just be. You hear steps coming up the corridor towards you. A quick jingle, as if of a bunch of keys. A little bit of a clunk. And then the door opens. Just looking through it at you. Is the gangly boy from last night, Lord. Just blinks a bit, surprised to see that travellers are so ready to be up and breakfasting at this time.
Hey,
Morning.
Morning.
what's with the lock?
Standard.
No, it
Why?
isn't.
Local rules. Breakfast downstairs if you want it.
Yarp, and then a nap.
Yes. Let us prepare for the day then. And Selleck makes his way out the door and leads the way downstairs to the breakfast table.
Okay.
Yep. I think the rest of us are going to follow.
Yeah, just following.
Mm-hmm. It's all good. As you get downstairs, you can see old Buck stitching plates onto the table. Looks like it's just grab what you want. He looks up as you as you approach. Morning. You sleep all right?
Apart from the storm, yes.
Pulls a face. Didn't hear a storm. Hey, Lord, you hear a storm? Lord sticks his head round the staircase corner. Nada, no storms.
Oh well. Maybe a nightmare of some kind.
There's a rumbling anyway.
That's just your stomach, Jack. Let's get some breakfast.
Yeah.
Selleck's busy tucking in.
Keeping one eye on these suspicious inn folk. While I eat.
Is there anybody else in the room with us aside from the innkeeper and their kid?
Nope. No, there's only you there.
Are you saying this is an awkward silence while we're eating?
I think it's unlikely to be actually silent while you're eating.
Just lots of mouth noises.
Jack's gonna hum under his breath while he eats his breakfast.
And it calls out to the innkeeper. Awfully quiet around here. Do you not get much trade?
It's quiet for a market day. I expect more guests than this, but you're all we've got.
This is market day.
Aye.
It's absolutely barren. We're not even here to trade, I'm sorry to tell you.
There'll be stalls in the square when you're ready to go outside, I'm sure. They were setting them up last night.
Well, it seems we've got the run of the place.
Yes, it does seem like that.
Yes, it does.
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you. It seems like
Okay, that was sinister.
Well, what kind of trade and fare is available out there? Is there anything that might interest our group? We're traveling with the circle, you see.
Doubt there'll be much that's better than what you can get from over at the roundhouse, but you're welcome to take a look through. There'll be some farmers' stock and such like. A lot of it's just local consumption.
Do the traders make good business here on market day?
I don't hear them complain, but it's always hit and miss. It's just that we're a little bit to the side of a lot of things, and we don't get a lot of visitors.
Oh, that's understandable. But as long as you people can make your trade and earn a good living wage. Don't know why the term living wage came out of my mouth, sorry.
living wage.
With the blessing of Armand, we keep the wolf from the door.
And the people inside locked within.
You'll excuse my asking so bluntly, but you don't seem to have any problems necessarily around, and I can see the place seems to be in good order, but I've heard tell that there are people around here that are in need of assistance, and we're the types to provide such things. Do you yourself or anybody you know have an issue or problem that could be solved?
I'll say they do. I say under my breath.
You'll
With
want to
Don't get us kicked out.
I got half a crumpet in my mouth.
You'll want to go over to the roundhouse and talk to Valizim. There'll be precious few folk who'll talk to you about anything much else around here.
Well, thank you for the information. And thank you for the delicious food.
No bother. Are you staying again tonight? Do you know?
We will be, yes.
We'll make sure that room stays set for you in case there's anybody else rolls in, but I don't think there will be.
Thank you very much. Is everyone around here so suspicious of outsiders?
You'll want to talk to Valizim at the roundhouse.
Okay.
Yes, you
Thank
said.
Well, I suppose we will. And with that, yeah, Silik finishes up food. Anything that's left to wrap up on that front?
Tidy up the plate. Take them back over.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's courteous.
Jack's gonna take some fruit and just pocket it about himself.
For later. For later. For when I wake up from my nap.
That seems reasonable.
Is it worth us going to see if we can speak to the rep just now? Do you think
mean-
they'll be up at this time?
I wouldn't be.
Well, it feels sensible that the local authority would be up and about on market day to oversee
Yeah.
everything.
We could ask we could ask Buck if he's up. If he would be up. He would probably know.
I think Buck's had enough of us this morning. There's only so many questions you want to answer at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Speaking as someone who gets up at 4 a.m., yes. Yes, there are.
Well, on that note, well, Jack, I suppose you were going to have a little nap.
Yeah, you guys could go on ahead without me. I'll just keep here for a little bit, and if something interesting happens, you can just come and grab me.
Yes. Sleep well.
Alright.
And we toddle off upstairs to have a 20-minute, 30-minute power nap.
Reappears 5 hours later.
Yeah, that's the best kind of nap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that kind of nap.
Chuji will follow Jack and go for a nap as well.
Fuji definitely gets the best deal out of any of us at the moment.
Chuji is well aware that the last place that she needs to be is in a roundhouse.
Yes. Yeah, I think we've made it quite clear that we're trying to keep her away from the circle.
Yep.
Quickly adds, for now, for Silic's benefit. So, let's go find out what our next couple of days will involve.
Yes. And off we go.
Oh,
That's fine. So you
Off we go.
saw the roundhouse on your way into the village yesterday.
Mhm.
And it's a pretty straightforward walk through the square. There are a few market stalls, but it does look like, as much as Buck suggested, it's a lot of produce, and not a vast amount of anything more functional. It's not like you'd be picking up bits of trinkets at a market this size. It's really only just subsistence level trade. But as you go through, there's a few folk. There's enough stalls to be worth bothering with. There's a few folk moving between them, doing a bit of trading. And then as you near the roundhouse, you can see that the note that had been on the door, somebody has just crossed it out, and it just now says, "I'm here for a bit."
seems like it would have been easier just to take the note down, but that's just me.
Well, at least we know he's home. And Silic raps on the door.
Yes.
Enters. And, good day. We're, travelers on our path around the circle. And we were just stopping by to see if there was anybody in need of help and to, check in, I suppose.
A tall, slender, very pale elf stands from behind the table. "Greetings, travellers. I welcome you on your loot. I am Valizin, and this village is my charge."
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. These are my companions, Araya and Timidar. I am Silic. And we have another with us, although not with us at this time, a gnome by the name of Jacques.
I see. And can I assist you with your loot?
Well, it's more, how can we assist you?
Did you overnight here?
We
Yes, we stayed at the local inn.
Yeah, they locked us in the room. It was weird.
Yes, we had questions about that. What's with the locking people into their rooms? Is that standard fare?
Did you hear anything unusual overnight?
Fine,
Yeah.
unusual.
There was a storm, but the innkeeper didn't seem to have noticed it, which seemed unusual.
Silic is frozen and has got a bit of a flop sweat because he's now torn. Like, he wants to talk and really talk, but teamwork. There are questions being asked, so he's
The
just
loyalty of
thinking
your
that.
friends.
Yeah, and whether that's noticed by anybody is up for.
I think at
No.
that point, Arya is probably going to step in front of Silic. Just to
Yeah, he's
help.
kind of both like
Mini
mid.
turtle.
Hesitant.
The turtle has crashed.
Pretty much.
I didn't hear a storm. That is interesting. But this is a troubled place, and old memories rest uneasy. The innkeeper's caution is wise. You do not want to be meeting the wrong memories in the corridor.
Meeting memories in the corridor? What do you mean?
Traces of the past?
With enough effort in life, enough change, memories may be formed in a way that is, let us just say, unhelpful.
Through these echoes, memories, are they causing issues for the people that live here now?
You will have seen that there are not very many local people,
Yeah.
and I'm sure if you stayed overnight with Old Buck, then you will know that there are very few guests.
Indeed.
Perhaps one day we'll find a way to put all of these memories to rest.
Would it be fair to say that this town has history then?
This town predates Varlastan. Predates the circle for sure. The tower on the hillside. We do not know how old it might be. The ruins on the cliff edge. All that remains of the old town that was here.
Occasionally I can scent some arcana in places that we travel through. I've been getting flickers of it here. Does that seem in keeping with what you're telling us of the memories?
The knack of Arcana is beyond me, but it would seem to be in reasonable keeping. There must be something that is causing this to occur.
I see. Do you know of anybody in the local area who has something that we could help with immediately? Or is it more of an investigation into the unusualness of the area that would help people?
Nobody has brought a problem to my attention. It would perhaps be most useful if we were able to find a way to set the memories to rest.
Seems we'll have to canvass the locals. Is there a family, an established clan that runs this place?
There's, as with most places, we have a few families, but you know yourself that in terms of running a place, the circle provides.
Well, I suppose. I really meant whether there were any long-standing families. I know that the circle moves people around, but it could be that there were some that the circle chose to keep here because of their connection to the land.
That had not occurred to me. Perhaps there is a tie that maintains the memories. That would be interesting. I will have to check the records. For the moment, though, perhaps you will see things that are not there, and perhaps you will hear things that are not to be seen. You should not be overly concerned. Memories are unlikely to do anything outside of what they recall. I have not yet heard of any memories that would present an armed force, for example, so it should be safe for the time being.
With your agreement, I think we will check if any of the shoppers or the stall holders at the market need a hand with anything. If not, perhaps we should have a look and see if there's anything unusual that we can identify that might help. Like from the ruins, which might help with your research.
By all means, it is always useful to have assistance for the community. I must warn you, however, be careful if you venture near the tower. It was before I arrived here, but it is recorded that one day, out of nowhere, with only the barest rumbling, the cliff dropped by perhaps 50 feet. No one knows why, and the tower has been abandoned since.
Arya is very quickly biting back her immediate response to that. I see. We will be aware of any geological instability.
It is well. Please let me know if you find anything interesting, and I will consult the records to see who here may be the longest standing amongst the families.
Of course. Thank you very much for your help, Varlastan.
How long would you like us to give you before we return?
I beg your pardon?
How long before we should return? How long would the records take to consult?
It may be a day or two.
I see.
If I am here, you are free to pop in and speak with me. If I am not, it will be marked on the doorway.
You won't be gone for long now, will you?
My duties rarely take me away for more than a full day at a time.
Oh well. That's alright then. We'll be in town for some time, so it seems.
Very well. I shall look forward to seeing you again. The blessing of Armand upon you.
Blessing of Armand upon you.
She sits back down at her desk and pulls a massive book out from one of the drawers.
Stand. It's pretty big.
I don't envy her the research. Right, let's go.
Let's make our way outside.
Before any of us are asked to help go through that book.
I'm not helping.
So once we're outside, Select turns to the others and says, well, I suppose many hands make light work. We should probably divide ourselves amongst the townspeople here and canvass them for information.
That sounds like a good idea. Did either of you notice? Coogee said that the land around the tower was too low compared to what it was meant to be. And there was... Suddenly, the ground there dropped by 50 feet.
Yes. Very conspicuous. And suddenly begs questions, especially with what we saw last night.
I'm beginning to wonder if it's another version of here, or is it here from a different time?
Well, the talk of these memories, we shall have to keep our wits sharp. And at any moment, it seems, we might be overtaken by one of these things. And we should certainly find out how the villagers cope with that.
Yes. That would seem to be some questioning we could undertake.
I don't think the villagers are going to be very friendly to us.
Well, you've got to turn on the charm. Selleck gives a big, broad smile. Says, we're friendly folk. And we're on our path. On the loop around the circle. Surely they should want to help. And with that, he kind of looks around and picks the nearest kind of villager that he kind of locks eyes with. Well, what do they look like? What's happening with them right now?
So the nearest bystander is a short humanoid figure, quite well wrapped up. You got sort of a almost an insecty sort of a face. You're not quite sure who or what you're looking at, but they lock eyes with you, and then they move off into the marketplace without really looking to make any contact.
And did everybody else conspicuously see the fact that this attempted interaction has just completely fallen flat on its face?
Yes, anyone that was paying attention is duly entertained by your point being disproven so firmly.
Stilik looks crestfallen for a second and then kind of like looks to a market trader, looks to a stall, somebody that can't walk away. And kind of goes, "Ah, you there, friend!" and starts walking over. I and my companions, we're new in town, as you might say. We're just looking to get the lay of the land. How goes it?
Aye, goes all right. Well enough for a market day. Can you interest you in some fine produce?
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear you're having a good day, but, well, yes, so let me peruse your produce, but at the same time, I have a few questions. And he kind of looks back and smiles at the rest of the group, like, see? Well, we hear tell of strange occurrences around these parts. People experiencing things that perhaps aren't their own experiences. Do you know anything of such things? He picks up whatever. What's the produce? What are we dealing with here?
Fairly standard farm produce, fruits, veg, etc. Notably, there are no turnips.
Picks up an onion then, and as he's talking and saying this, he's kind of pretending like, yeah, I'm totally gonna buy something.
I don't know anything about that. Sounds like some of that townsfolk nonsense to me.
Oh, I suppose you being an out-of-towner, well, you must have heard some stories about this place.
Hear stories about the place, you don't hear anything useful. You don't hear that nobody's going to come in and buy your onions, they're just going to ask you questions.
Oh, well, not to say that I won't buy your onions. And he gives it a good sniff and he goes, seems like a fine specimen. How much for one of your fine onions?
Half a silver for an onion.
Well, why not? And he reaches into his pouch and grabs a little bit of money and passes it to him. So thank you very, very much for your time.
Pleasure doing business. Enjoy your stay around here.
That wasn't business, that was daylight robbery. Silver. Half a silver for an onion.
He looks very aware of the fact that, like, this is an inordinate amount of money to have spent on an onion, but he felt very, like, his honor was impugned. That was like, oh, well, you got me there, trader. I should do you right. So here you go.
It was half a silver, in fairness. But still.
Still.
You still got shaken down. You said to a trader that you were new in town, and you got shaken down. Why is your surprised face surprised?
What I expect no less.
Stilik was surprised.
So yeah, with onion in hand, Silik turns back around and kind of walks back towards the group, and he does the chuck it up in the air, bounce it off inside of the elbow back into his hand, like. He's trying to, like, enjoy this onion now that he's bought it. He goes, well, I'll admit that wasn't the most productive conversation, but it's interesting at least to note that this place has a reputation, it seems. Talk about it. I couldn't really glean too much of what was said in terms of, like, what goes around, but certainly a sense that talk of oddities.
What you got there?
I have a delicious onion. Perhaps we can make a stew later. Or, I suppose I'll give it to the innkeeper and maybe he'll give us a little bit of a discount. I mean, I did pay
really
half a silver for it.
Yes. Well, good luck with that. He doesn't really seem the type to give us any kind of discount or complete sentence or anything.
Straight answer.
Yes.
Well... I suppose we should focus on the locals. Let's try and... Well, I don't want to say corner one of these people, but... Let's at least find somebody that's a little bit more interested in talking than that unusual individual that gave me a funny look and walked away. Did anybody recognize what that thing was? Out of curiosity.
It's an onion.
No. He puts the onion away in a pouch at his side. Let's just forget about the onion. I'm certainly going to try and forget about the onion. But no, the person, the one that scurried off.
Oh,
I don't know. Probably just a regular person out for a walk doesn't want to get looked at by three randomers. I don't know.
You have such lack of faith in others. You have to trust. We're not so intimidating as I've said.
You're a giant
Anyway.
turtle man with a lot of weapons on you. I'm a dragon who looks like he's about to murder someone because he hasn't slept enough. And Arya's the only one who doesn't look like she's going to kill someone.
It's
and I'm
about
probably the most deadly.
Yeah.
It's about the mood that you exude. And he kind of looks around and he raises his hands in the air and he goes, "Come on now. There's no reason to think that these people, these good people, would think any less of us because of our appearance. I try not to judge. Such is the teachings."
I feel that Cyric's greatly missing, like, Jack just cheering him on in the background.
If you like them so much, why don't you run for mayor?
Well,
I think
you
it's too
never know
small.
where we might end up.
So Arya is going to stop listening to the two of them for a little bit,
idea.
look around to see if she can spot any groups of women talking in the market, at the edges of the market. See if there's a group that she can approach.
There isn't particularly. You see a few people moving around, but they're mostly passing through the market square quite quickly. Maybe stopping at an odd stall or two, and then making their way back the way they came. It's very much that the market is there, and this is your opportunity to stop by. But everybody's got enough on as it is.
Right. Okay. I guess I'll go up to a different stall holder, preferably one that didn't just see the encounter with Silik and his onion, and pick out some pieces of fruit to take back. Maybe some
Okay.
carrot. Things that we can use as like relatively easy snacks when we're on the go. Carrots and fruit.
That seems reasonable. Better than onions.
Doesn't need cooked so much.
I mean, you can eat an onion like an apple, but nobody's going to want to be around you if you do.
The thought crossed my mind. I did think for a second. I was like, would Silik's sense of taste, would he necessarily care? Would he enjoy that potentially? Maybe.
But yes, you can acquire some bits of fruit and some carrots from one of the other produce stalls. That's not
And
a
I
problem.
Smile at them, and so we're just passing through on our loop. Would you happen to need a hand with anything?
Officials here. Oh, as close to officials as you get around here. I know there's the lady over in the roundhouse, but she doesn't really bother as much with the official stuff. That's all fine. I don't think there's much going on, unless you happen to know anything about growing turnips.
I noticed there aren't any turnips in the market. Do they
No.
just not grow out here?
It's just this season, they've just really fallen off. We've planted them out, but there's no crop at all. We've no idea why.
We did come across this couple of maybe a month or two ago now. I'll have a think and I'll see if we can remember anything about it. Where would I be able to find you?
appreciate it. The farm's just out the top end of the village here. If you go back up to the road and over the field, it's the next farm along from there.
Okay. I think one of my companions might have some ideas about it. Yes, we shall. Yeah, I'll have a think. Hopefully I'll be able to come by with some good news soon.
That's all good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The
My way back to the group.
he seems reasonably happy with the small amount of coin that he got from you for those.
So, interestingly, the one crop that hasn't been working for them this season is turnips. Remember how we met Kuji?
Curious. We shall certainly have to investigate that.
I don't think we can really go to the farm and say, oh yeah, it might be farmers from the other side of this mystical veil that nobody knows about that are stealing your turnips. But I'm sure we can think up something and go and investigate.
Yes, a delicate touch. A little diplomacy. I'm sure we'll do fine.
I'm sure we could explain that Kuji is very scared of strangers, but they're very good with turnip. Might be
You're a shaman.
a way to start a conversation there.
Well, we have a lead. I suppose we shouldn't take on too many things at once.
True.
And if we're to stay in town, then we can always collect more information as we go. So perhaps we should head back to the inn. Do you think they've had a sufficient rest?
I would have thought so. But if not, then... well... maybe we could sit and go over all of these things that we've learned today. There's been quite a lot of it.
Perhaps ask the knife. Well, this seems absurd to say, but ask the knife about turnips.
I wonder if calling them opener doesn't necessarily sound better than ask the dagger. Ask opener if what it knows about crops being taken from one side or the other that seem to exist in both places at once. Surely this can't be the only. Here and Pliska's farm where we met Kuji, surely these... it has to be connected somehow, surely.
One would think. Well, let's get to the inn then, and rouse our friends. Well, let's take a measure of them, I suppose. See if they're deep in sleep. And we can always ask the dagger some questions, the opener.
Yeah. Yes. This is a good plan.
Strange to refer to a dagger as an individual. I'll have to adjust.
I'm sure it'll get easier with time.
Okay. So you're just going to make your way back through the market square to the inn?
Yes.
It's fine. You get inside. Old Buck's nowhere to be seen, but Lord's behind the bar. He just acknowledges you and carries on with the cleaning he's doing.
Just head on through then.
Yeah.
Head upstairs.
Just go up.
As you go up to the room, you can see that the outside of the door, not only is there a lock with which is just a key-operated lock, but there's also a deadbolt across it. Which explains why you couldn't open it from the inside, even after Jack had his way with the lock.
Are these closed right now?
No, they're open at the moment.
Okay, so it's only at night that they're concerned. Or when there aren't any locals about.
Oh. I suppose if somebody was caught up in one of these memories, perhaps they could end up wandering around and not realizing it, not grasping that they're not quite in the world as we know it.
Yeah.
And a locked door would certainly fend against that.
Yeah. I suppose it might be a little bit like sleepwalking. You don't really know if you're about to go somewhere dangerous.
How are Jack and Koji looking as we enter the room?
Jack is just stretching and waking up from me down going, morning or afternoon. Not sure. What time is it?
Oh, it's still morning. Don't worry.
Ah, good. Okay, good.
Well, we've had a interesting conversation with Varlastan at the roundhouse.
Ah, so they were in then. That's good.
Yes. They're searching records to see if there are any locals connected to this place. There are these things they call memories that seem to be hallucinations of sorts, people witnessing perhaps aspects of the past, but in very real terms to them in the moment.
Ooh.
Could it be, in fairness, I mean, whether these things are shared, could it be that the flames we saw last night were one of these memories?
Oh man. We gotta. So what's the plan now then? Do we have a plan in place, or are we coming up with a plan?
No plan yet. So there's. I think we're going to need to do some, like, random odd jobs to try and get some of the locals to trust us a bit more. They seem to think that we count as officials.
Yes, there's a turnip farm that's not quite a turnip farm at the moment. It's not yielding anything. Given our previous encounter with such issues,
Yeah.
this was our first lead that we will be pursuing today.
Is it linked with the fishes as well?
It could be.
Maybe?
Mm.
It seems to only be the turnips that have failed. Like, they planted them, but they haven't come through. And so I want to have a look at I want us to have a look there. But I also think we should speak to Opener about it, and to Kuji. Because even if we can't work out why there's this link between the two places, Kuji's a turnip farmer. She might be able to help with the turnip issues without it being connected to this.
I suppose she's really good at what she did last time. She kind of fixed it for us then. So it makes sense.
So I think it's probably worth trying. Yeah.
Yes. I say we ready ourselves, and there's no use to tarry. Let's head out to the farm.
Well, I think we should ask Opener first.
Oh yeah. Let's
Oh,
check with
well,
the
of
knife.
course.
Check with the knife. The man and the knife.
opens her bag, digs out the cloth-wrapped box, unwraps the box, unlocks the box, unwraps the dagger. Hello, opener.
Yes.
We have been asked to help a local farmer who has a possibly disappearing turnip crop.
I see.
We first met Kuji, who is from the other side of whatever this divide is. While she and a farmer on this side were trying to harvest the same turnips. They seemed to be some sort of... For some reason, the turnips were the same item in both sides of the divide.
That is an opening.
I see. Are opening as in the same kind of openings that you do?
What is a veil between worlds if it cannot be parted?
Oh! I see. You are really quite intimidating, opener.
I have heard that before.
Somehow I am not surprised.
Does your companion wish to hear my opinion on how to prepare a turnip? Or is he sated for the moment with understanding how to properly eat his toasted muffin?
You talking smack about me?
I
can tell.
believe he is content at the moment, thank you. Are these openings, are they similar to what Varlastan described as memories laid down in this place?
I do not recognize the phrase of memories. However, if the way is open, what may pass between is open to debate.
So perhaps instead of memories from people from the past, it is what is going on the other side of the veil currently. I see.
You mentioned a Kuji.
Yes.
She is one of the people. Does she know you hold me?
She is the one that told me to speak to you.
It is well.
The previous turnip farm, Kuji and the farmer were both picking the same turnip, and she ended up pulled through the opening to this side of the veil. We had no answers, but we have taken her under our protection.
That is a reasonable thing to do. Is there a question associated with this statement?
Do you know of a way that we can help her? Is there a way for her to go home?
If the way is opened, what may travel it is open to debate.
I see. Thank you. Is there a way to close an opening?
It has been done. it is more difficult. How is your sewing abilities?
Possibly not good enough.
You may wish to engage a seamstress, preferably one with great talent.
I see.
It requires extreme dexterity to successfully use a needle which you cannot see.
Goodness. Yes. I will look into that. Thank you very much for your help.
You are welcome. Continue to take care.
Okay. Arya kind of bows her head to open her and then carefully wraps them back up. So, I don't know whether it's something about turnips, but yes, there is both of these places have an opening in the veil, which is a little bit worrying sounding. We can close it. Well, it can be closed if you've got someone who is a top-notch seamstress who can work without being able to see a needle, thread, or the fabric.
Don't look at me.
I'm not sure if it's possible to do at all.
Some extraordinary talent is going to be required. Not
I
likely
don't-
around these parts.
I don't think my fingers are that nimble.
No, nor mine. Although it is possible, but also Opener doesn't recognise the way Varlastan described things as memories.
Maybe
That
it doesn't.
instead... Sorry?
I was going to say maybe it doesn't understand the similes and metaphors.
Perhaps. I was given the impression that it was things from the other side of the veil rather than things from the past. Oh, I forgot to ask about the tower and the land drop. Oh well.
I mean, you've got him in your hand. You can just go and ask him again.
Do you want to,
No.
Jack?
No. I don't want to hear that voice in my head.
He has been most polite, but I find talking with Opener quite draining.
Not about everybody, though. I feel like he had some pointed, pardon the pun, comments about yours truly, your boy Timidar.
He asked if you wanted his opinion on how to prepare turnip.
I don't want his opinion on shit.
Timidar, you're so grumpy today.
I might dragged up in the middle of the night to hold a rock.
You weren't. You got the longest sleep possible.
No, don't mention sleep. I'm so tired now.
I think we all have an early night tonight.
Oh, it's enforced, I suppose.
Yes. Although, I'm not sad about it. And by the time the farmer gets home from market, I think we'll be going to see them tomorrow.
Yes. We'll have to try and catch them on the road otherwise, and that does seem like a lot of work.
It does.
Yeah, Silic is also a little bit weary because of last night's escapades.
Yep. I think
That
it might
seems
be
fair.
an evening or an afternoon of cat naps and thinking
checkers.
over all of the things.
Yeah, more
Jack's
checking.
Jack's just gonna try and keep everybody's mind off of like the weirdness by insisting on checkers and teams.
Okay.
Tag teaming.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fine plan. And we shall leave it for you to have that peaceful afternoon. And we shall return on another occasion. We'll see where we go from there. So, thank you all for joining us this evening as our cast explored Varlastan, its inhabitants, and its secrets. We'd like to thank the Penance RPG sponsors, dndice.co.uk and Gemhammer & Sons Gaming, for supporting both the podcast and our other content. The Varlastan setting is built using World Anvil's excellent toolset, and we're releasing some of the setting content after the cast has experienced it for themselves. Check out the Varlastan Circle page on penancerpg.com for more information. You can find the Penance RPG podcast on your favourite podcast app, and we're on social media at Penance RPG. Dragon and Amy are cast members from Penance RPG, and I assist behind the scenes. AJ presents, and Eden appears in, Pretending with Dice, a natural play variety podcast also available through all good podcast apps. The Varlastan Circle will return in 2 weeks. To see the other scheduled streams on the Penance RPG channel, please check the stream information below. We're going to raid out. I believe we're going to raid Lily Dreams On, who's a variety video game streamer. Please give her a welcome when we get there. They're currently streaming Honey, I Joined a Cult. When we get there, please remember to double click their streamer icon to make sure Twitch registers you properly as a viewer. We'll see you again soon.
As I am quickly jumping between things.
Any second now.
Any second now. It's all good.
I got distracted. Sorry.
That's alright. Thank you all, and good night.